Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Her. If it's your first time here and you're enjoying the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications when we go live or post videos, tap the bell. And if you want to join our UVH family, you want to join our community, there's links below to our free options trading group along with our Discord. You can go in there and ask questions, connect with us. It's a great time. But what I want to talk about today is the top 10, or at least my top 10 most liquid ETFs to trade options on. And there's what I mean by that. What I mean by like they're my pick is that there are ETFs that have a higher option volume, but these are my preferred ones to trade. And also bid ask spread. I find that these are the best in terms of just because it has higher volume doesn't mean that the bid and ask are necessarily that tight. These ones that we're going to go over, these ETFs that we're going to go over today are pretty tight, and we'll show you here. If you don't know, if you're brand new, you don't know what an ETF is, there's a lot of lingo going on here. What's an ETF? I did pull it up here. It's a exchange traded fund. An ETF is a collection or basket of tens, hundreds, or sometimes thousands of stocks or bonds in a single fund. So basically, what the banks did, it's kind of like the mortgage industry, and that this is the investing industry, and what they did was they packaged these up nice for you, and then they present it to you. It even says, like in the SPY one here, SPY's phenomenal trading volume makes it the perfect vehicle for tactical traders and mom and pop investors alike. So basically what big banks do and what these people do is they create these products for you to invest in. And why do they do that? Because they make money from it. They make a lot of freaking money from it. So the more you trade it, the more people are interested in it, where you want to hold your money. They make money for having these funds. So you have to understand that the stock market makes products for consumers just like anything else. Like when a company makes a t-shirt for a consumer, they made an investing product for you to invest in so they can make money. So as long as you understand what it is, what you're investing in, because I think a lot of people, one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video is because there's a lot of times I think for ETFs, people don't necessarily know what they're investing in. They don't really know what SPY is or QQQ is, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I think is that if you're investing in these products, you should understand what you're investing in. I'm not going to go through every single little detail, but I want to give you enough info so that way you can go on your own to kind of find out more about these ETFs, and maybe you're missing out on opportunities that you didn't even know existed. So hopefully I can expose those for you, add some new tickers, and we'll be going through these up here. What I have here is ETF.com, and it's a really nice website. You can go in here, you can search different ETFs, and whatever you want to do. I've already pulled them up here to save time. So obviously number one on the list is SPY. It tells you exactly what it is here. It tracks a market cap weighted index of U.S. large and mid cap stocks selected by the S&P committee. You're like, well, what is that entirely? If you want to know what the top 10 SPY holdings are, you can go right in here. Microsoft is 3.5%, Apple's 3.3%, Amazon. So a lot of people that are investing or trading options on these funds, I feel don't necessarily know exactly what they are. Like people, I don't think that most people now think that the SPY is this tech heavy. It's 25%, more than 25%, pretty tech heavy. So people think of tech as like NASDAQ and all that. But as you can see, the top holdings here are Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and then we have Google. Google's actually Google's almost 3% as well. So this, because Alphabet, you have to combine these two here. They weight these differently. So these are probably right underneath Amazon right here. Actually they're weighted the same. No, they're not. Google is above Amazon by like 0.02%. Whatever. But you can go in here and try to drill down. Like I'm a firm believer that when you're trading options or buying stock or whatever you're doing, you should understand what you're investing in, because the more that you understand, the less likely you are to get screwed. Like I said in the beginning of this video, these products were made to make money for other people. yes, you can make money from them. Yes, you will make money from them, but you need to understand what they are so you can make money from these products. SPY being the most liquid, it now the options now expire 3 times a week. So they expire Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, along with the monthlies, obviously. But these have a lot of different expirations, and they have a lot of volume because a lot of people trade them. A lot of large volume. And what I'm looking for, in here is, like, obviously you can see between the bid and the ask here. Let's say on these calls, penny wide in the money. This is 27 cents. This is 28 cents at the ask. This is 44. This is 45, and then out of the money is like 2 cents, 8 cents, 10 cents. So we can go to like a different expiration too. 3 cents. Normally what I like is to not exceed 5 cents at the bid and ask. Especially if you're day trading. If you're day trading, you don't want to have a super wide bid in the ask. If you're swing trading, liquidity is still important, but you can, if it's 6 cents, you're not gonna, whatever. But you don't want like 10 cents, 20-cent bid in the ask. So these are nice. Right now the market's closed, obviously. That's why there's no volume, but you can see the open interest is pretty great, and the bid and ask is nice and tight, and we'll go over that. But SPY, there's a lot of opportunities there, a lot of different expirations that you could choose from. However, I think that a lot of people get very aggressive with SPY, and they tend to overtrade it. I know I have in the past. I have that in the actually last couple of weeks. So just because they give you a lot of options doesn't mean you need to go in there and trade it. Just like anything else, like being disciplined is the best way to make money in the stock market. QQQ, a lot of these they call them Qs. It tracks a modified market cap weighted index of 100 NASDAQ listed stocks. Oh, one thing that I would say, on your own time, I'm not going to go through it, but it's kind of nice to go through, what these little paragraphs here, like SPY is the best recognized and oldest ETF. So if you didn't know that, SPY is the oldest ETF out there. So it's kind of nice to go through these. I'm just going to go through these quickly, but you can you can do your own research. I would definitely recommend going to this ETF website. I'm not sponsored by them or anyways. I just found it an easy way to look everything up. But the Qs, this is tech heavy as well. It tracks the NASDAQ, and it's almost 60% tech heavy here. And as you can see how it's weighted down here, but I definitely think that people don't know that SPY is as tech heavy as it is. So you should definitely be mindful when trading that. And the Qs, they don't have as many expirations here, but still liquid. Like, you're not going to get as many. Like, SPY is the only one that has that many expirations. The Qs, still great. We have 3-cent markets here. We got 2 cents in the money, 3 cents in the money. So very, very liquid, very, very nice stock to trade. And the chart, we should tie these together. I haven't been trading on my Mac, so so you can go through these. I'm just pretty much going to concentrate what these ETFs are and option volume, just to kind of show you, kind of what I'm looking for here. USO, it's a nicer, it tracks oil here. It's actually on the cheaper side. So if you have a small account, definitely recommend looking at USO and being patient with it. Obviously, if you have a smaller account and you're trading, you should be looking at these ETFs in general, because these will offer you the most liquidity and they will give you the most options in terms of making trades. Like, you can find cheap options, you can find expensive options, and anything in between. So like when these ETFs, they give you a lot of choices, whether you have big accounts or small accounts. There's a lot of different choices. There's a lot of ways to make money in the market. You don't have to continue doing the same thing. And sometimes when you continue doing the same thing, eventually it stops working. So, USO, it tracks futures. It's let's see here. of contracts on WTI crude oil. So, if you're interested in trading oil, this is definitely one to look at. If you're looking at oil, you could track /CL, which I have here, and then you can see USO also has nice tight markets as well. So you definitely want to look at that. Oil, I would say like oil, silver, and gold, it trades a lot differently than like the other ones. But if you like that, like I like trading oil, I like trading gold. I don't all the time. I think for me personally, I would prefer oil over gold and silver. But everyone, there's gonna be a lot of people watching this video, and it's whatever your preference is. And that's kind of what's nice about the stock market, is just because it doesn't work for me, or it doesn't work for Joe, or it doesn't work for this guy, it could work for you. Everyone sees the market differently. Everyone has a different approach to the market. There's not a cookie cutter way to enter the market, which is both good and bad, because you have to understand where your strengths and weaknesses are. XOP also tracks U.S. oil and gas production, but these have actual holdings in companies like PDC, Chesapeake, SM. So a lot of people don't understand, like, you may not want to enter an ETF, just because it tracks oil and stuff. You may not want to enter an ETF if it has a big holding in, like, let's say Chesapeake Energy. You may not like that company, or it may not be doing well, which could drag down the price of the ETF, which could also drag down the price of the sector. So, you might want to look at these companies, especially if you're investing long term. Like, if you're investing long term into the market and you buy shares of XOP, then you might want to take a different approach. Like, for trading options, it's just good to know. Also, you might want to see what these companies are doing. I mean, these are pretty equally weighted in here. Nothing too crazy. GLD as well. Tracks the gold spot price. So this one just tracks gold entirely, and then silver as well. And then you can go into 1495 and 125. So you can go into here. You could also see that these also have a pretty nice bid-ask spread. So all these that I pulled up have 5 cents or less markets between the bid and the ask. So pretty nice. FXI, these ones that I'm getting into here, like I'm sure you've heard all of these, but the remaining one, like FXI, EEM, EWZ, and XLF, I feel are never talked about, or at least not like in our community. So I kind of want to bring them up. I have been looking into them. I have traded them in the past. It's been a while since I've traded ETFs aggressively, but since I've started to get back into it, I thought this was a good video to make, just to kind of show you guys kind of what's going through my mind, what ETFs I do like. FXI, it tracks an index of the 50 largest and most liquid Chinese stocks, right? And what I think FXI is important right now is with the trade stuff going on. It's definitely moving, and the options are cheap. So as things happen to China, good or bad, this is going to be impacted. And these are the top 10 sectors, and then these are the top 10 holdings that FXI tracks. So Tencent, they got China Construction. I think everyone's heard of Tencent. Pretty much taking over everything, or investing in everything. Anyways, but what I like about FXI is that, not fix, FXI, the markets are pretty nice, and that the options really move on this guy. And you might say, hey, it's only got like 18 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, but if you're looking at FXI, I mean, if you're looking at this chart, it has big gap up, big gaps down. Sometimes it doesn't move very much during the day, but if we're looking here at these options, I mean, these went from 4 cents to 19 cents. I mean, that's pretty crazy. last week options were pretty crazy. I mean, the week hasn't started yet, but last week's options went pretty crazy as well. Last week's expirations, these went from 10 cents to 34 cents, now sitting at 29 cents. So, these options do move. You just have to really focus, because they if you're looking at you have some days that are really, really flat, and then some days that it really goes up nice. So, it's definitely a good ETF to trade, but just like anything else, you have to understand its personalities. You have to understand how it moves. You don't just go in there and start buying stuff up, because you'll probably just lose money. Like, when I'm starting to learn how something trades, if I haven't traded it before, I observe it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and understand how it moves. Because when you understand how it moves, you'll start making money. EEM is the emerging markets ETF, and you're like, hey, what's an emerging market? Basically, it tracks these countries: Hong Kong, Korea, Taiwan, India, Brazil. So this is an ETF that tracks like up and coming markets, that aren't as big as like the US, not as big as, so you get the idea. There's China in here, there's Mexico, there's Russia, Thailand, but major holdings: Hong Kong, Korea, Taiwan. So, this definitely, I think these ETFs like FXI, EEM, EWZ, I think there's, in my opinion, not enough people talk about these, and there's actually great liquidity in the options in terms of EEM and other ones. Like the other ones, yeah. Open interest is great. The bid and the ask right here is kind of wide on these ones, but I think that it's just because the market is closed. It's normally a lot tighter than this on emerging markets. But yeah, this one moves as well. We went from 50 to 37. Now it looks like it's making a recovery. But essentially, what I want to do this video is just create you more awareness, if anything else, of what ETFs are. I feel like people are just kind of investing blindly. EWZ is a Brazil ETF. Tracks a market cap weighted index of Brazilian firms, and it's kind of like, what does that mean? But this is definitely not an ETF I trade a lot, but it does move, and I will also leave the list below in the description of all the ETFs I'm talking about, so that way you guys can kind of go back and not have to watch the whole video if you don't want to, if you just want the list. But if you know about anything about Brazil, let's go to EWZ. Definitely a mover. When you're trading options, you're looking for movers. The trade here, right now they got 5 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent wide bid in the ask. Not terrible, pretty good. And let's see here. What does it say? EUS also delivers outstanding market-like exposure. I like how they word this. It tracks a version of 4-segment benchmark that skims on a bit on small caps. So, essentially is tracking the Brazil market, and as you can see here, you can see financials, basic materials, energy. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, or if you want to get interested into it too, like you can take a look at it. But the ETF definitely moves. The options definitely do volume, and the chart's in a good place to be trading options on it. I don't know if I would necessarily buy stock up here, but it definitely movers. This one day here went from 42 up to 44. So if you look into the ETFs, it gets a little crazy. Day trading, definitely a lot of opportunities here for day trading, swing trading. XLF tracks the financial sector, S&P 500 financials, and you can go on here and you can see what these are too. So Berkshire, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America is another one that is good that I like as well. XLF ETF. So I definitely hope this video was of value to you. If it was, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, hit subscribe. If you guys want to join our communities, the links are below to our free options trading group and our Discord. Definitely appreciate you watching this video, going through these ETFs with me. I definitely have a lot of fun trading these ETFs. I have a lot of fun trading in general. So you guys have a great one. Stay safe, stay green. It's always us versus herd.